money that I collected. It's honorable that brought
contribution to Nigerian peace.
Me, I want make all of now look at this.
But there comes a time when you want to take steps every day to make this country a better place.
And the new Nigeria is
indications telling them it's time to change.
All right, it's another lovely Tuesday, and it's time for the Never Dull Moment program on radio. That's talking about Ground Zero, the program where we bring up topical issues in the polity, and we guest in-house. We try our very best to ensure that we give you a clearer understanding to any perspective or issues that we are bringing on the program. My name is Ehis Agbon, and on the program Ground Zero today, we will basically be looking at, first of all, a particular event that's coming up this week, and not just an ordinary event. It is a spiritual event. That's Wings of Miracle. That will occupy the first segment of the program. And after that, we will be looking at the Tinubu CSU Saga, and of course, what Nigerians are expecting as an outcome of what is presently happening in the Supreme Court. And we'll now wrap it all up with the fact that before now, Atiku Abubakar and Tinubu, that's Bola Ahmed Tinubu, our president, we are very good friends and business partners. But somehow and somewhere along the line, things went south. What happened and how did it happen? All of these we'll get to know in the course of the program. And on this segment, we'll be looking at the Tinubu CSU Saga. Supreme Court Reserves Judgement. What are the expectations of Nigerians? And of course, we'll also be looking at how did the friendship between Atiku and Tinubu go sour. Already seated with me in the studio for we have Folorunso. He's a publisher and a political analyst. I also have with me two other powerful media persons. Femi Oyelola is a journalist and a media analyst, and of course, Odeh Akatu, also a journalist and a media analyst. For those that want to contribute to the program, of course, you know where and how to go about that. That's at ProcyonRTV on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and what have you. Virtually all of the platforms, you can always get us there. Now, looking at just yesterday, the Supreme Court have seen and taken some of the evidences that were added by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, and also that's in respect of the Chicago State University issues bordering around forging of certificates and so many things. And now, for some people, they feel that these evidences are coming late and they should be thrown out. That's for some people. And for some other persons, they said, as long as they are valid, they shouldn't be just thrown out. But one other thing, too, that many people are also not quite comfortable with is the fact that even if all of this is not right, and Nigerians want to react to them, is it going to bother on the fact that documents presented whereas they are, should they be taken, should they be thrown out, and all of that? That's on one hand. Whatever it is, whether accepted by the Supreme Court or not, how is it resonating with Nigerians? That is a big issue we need to tidy. And I will start from looking at the history of Atiku and Tinubu. These were two young men then that were in business. They've done so many businesses together, had political alliances and all of that. If you recall some time back when someone was trying to insinuate that Tinubu was a newcomer to politics, and he quickly reminded some people that even before Atiku became part of the PDM there, was that not Yaradua's political machinery, that Tinubu was already there before Atiku? Yes. And was it really a latecomer? Why did he leave? They have met severally, even in the days of SDP, we are not in the same political party. At some point in time when Atiku was having issues with PDP, was he not in AC, even as a presidential candidate? Then when they are separate ways again, even sometime along the line, they still came back again as members of APC. Then when they are separate ways again, the quest for power. What exactly is happening? What happened? I would like to start from Folorunso. You know where I'm starting from him? He is a warehouse of historical perspective to whatever we are discussing. Some people call him the professional politician and a professional in politics. He's a mix of both. Also, Folorunso, talk to us.
Thank you very much, viewers and listeners as well. And thank you, Peacemaker.
Thank you.
You see, in life, let me start with one popular adage in Yoruba language that says, "Ija ilara ogun tomboro." And that is, the war, any war orchestrated by rivalry, does not end on time. You see, you mentioned PDM. Before PDM, there was PF.
Yeah.
PF was Patriotic Front. That was where they made politically under the tutelage of the late Shehu Yaradua, not Umaru. As at that time, Umaru was just a lecturer. He was not part of the system. So when these two gentlemen came together, they energized the Shehu Yaradua political machinery to give people like us tough time in SDP. Well, we belong to PSP, People's Solidarity Party. They belong to PFN and PFN, Patriotic Front of Nigeria. They have money. Our own group, we don't have money. It is in our own group. We have the Olufalayes, the Adeparatis, all the remnants of the Awolowo group. You understand? So they use their machinery to make sure Yaradua became more prominent than Olufalaye. But the big blow that Babangida dealt with them sent them into disarray. When he said no to old breed, yes to new breed.
Okay.
So that was how it became scattered. So at the time again, they came back again, they met under PDM, which was now under the leadership of Professor Ango Abdullahi and the man from Petu. No, not Solomon. This is our Baba, I was not remember his name. So now they met again, they started doing their business together, but when it comes to politics, they have their political different interests. Because politics is about interest. Along the line again, PDP came. When PDP came, Olufalaye brought Tinubu into AD. And Pamanga Tuko, having been the godfather of Atiku, took him to PDP. So they still maintain some level of friendship. We must say that even in 2023 and 2003, when PDP went on operation, capture everybody, every kitchen in Nigeria, capture them. It was Atiku that saved Tinubu in Lagos. By saying, this is my friend. They were capturing, they were not winning. I'm sorry to say. As at that time, I was the Assistant National Secretary of Alliance for Democracy, which we founded at Shalawa Center, in the house of Ambassador Jali.
Yes.
So they have money. Our group don't have money. That's why people like us are still poor. We are only thanking God that our children are making it. You understand? We don't have money, they have money. You will see that even when they deceived, the both of them came together and brought Yaradua money to form a phantom shipping company, where Dopesi was the managing director, Pamanga Tuko was the chairman of the company.
Let's leave that and let's face it.
So they have always been together. And when Rain was beating Atiku in PDP, he found it comfortable to run into AC. Tinubu accommodated him. And after some while again, he ran back to PDP. They went back. But when Rain started beating him again, he came back to APC. Tinubu accommodated him. So they know a lot about their secrets. But one thing is that the average man will say, now who know man? The key man. So that is the problem we're having.
Welcome to Mike Odeh Akatu now. The fact that this Tinubu CSU Saga, like it is, it's actually a saga. And the Supreme Court is reserving judgment. So let's leave that aside. But what are the expectations of Nigerians?
Right. The expectations of Nigerians was, let's put an end to this saga. If Tinubu is actually not found guilty, let the Supreme Court declare him fit and dismiss the allegations and let's move on. And if Tinubu is as guilty, as charged, or as accused by his opponents, then let the Supreme Court do justice and say, Tinubu, you are guilty. Now, it is not a question of whether it has been overtaken by time or not. Are you getting it? Now, it is, number one, at what point in time did you submit the certificates? Are you getting it? And did you actually violate the Constitution of Nigeria? Don't forget, also there's what we call perjury. That is if you lie under oath.
Because it's a graduate, you couldn't have lied on that.
Well, that is what this thing seems to be like. They don't forget, the Supreme Court says the certificates tendered are variants.
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Two different ones. They said they don't know which of them to accept.
Which, please allow me to talk. They don't know which one to accept.
Yes.
And they all emanated from where?
The same school.
And the same
person in it.
So what does that imply? There is forgery somewhere. Now, like Justice Maldonado did. Are you getting it? When an American, when she saw the gravity and she saw that the time was going to be, the time was elapsing, she said, look, you better release these results before Tuesday. Are you getting it? She did not reserve judgment. The expectations of Nigerians are, if the president is guilty, please pronounce it. That's the truth. And if he's not guilty, come out plain. I recall years ago when President Buhari was trying to remove Walter Onogen. Walter Onogen went to court severally. And after a while, the court will say, we'll reserve judgment. And after the whole incident passed by, the court now said his removal was at variance with the Constitution. So please.
But he was already removed.
The deed has been done.
Yeah.
You see, so Nigerians, so they judge. They say the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. But the judiciary, unfortunately, is actually making a mockery of Nigeria by the way it is done, rightly or wrongly. And Nigerians are expecting that the judiciary should be bold enough to say things, to see it black and white or black and blue the way it is.
I'll come to Femi Oyelola now. The perspective to all of this.
Okay, yes, thank you very much. You see, first of all, I want to believe there's not anything like a saga in this matter. The saga, with the matter on the land is the matter of the law. And the law has to take its course. And when we are talking of judiciary is a two-edged sword.
Yes.
The fact that doesn't suit you today, suit your A, doesn't mean they are biased, they are not doing their work. And they should begin to know that the judiciary is two-edged sword, it can swing to any place. Now, in a process, the legal system is a process emanated from Rome. We as media practitioners and learned people should be able to inform the public rather than inform them not to confuse them. And convince them to know the truth on the ground and not convincing them more about what is on the ground. In the process of law, if you have a criminal case like Justice as said just during the hearing in the Supreme Court, he said a criminal case has to prove beyond a reasonable doubt before it can even accept it. And that is done where? In the court of law, not in a tribunal. Now, if you want to prove this case, like my colleague said, if you file a motion and you detect that something is cheating or forgery, you don't go to sleep and expect somebody to go. You prepare a case through the proper channel, through the process. We have a process of law in Nigeria. You can tell me history, you can give me quotation from anywhere. The process 1999 Constitution still remain our standard and still remain our guidance. And anything that did not emanate from that Constitution can come from that, coming from any part of the country. It's not part of our system. Now, when the Supreme Court, what we expected from the Supreme Court is that the Supreme Court should perform their duty as at the prayer sought by the party in the case. And that prayer should go back to the tribunal. What are you looking for? Let me use the case of Kaduna State. One of the gubernatorial aspirants said, I did not seek for prayer of a rerun election. So why are you giving me a rerun election? It's not part of my prayer. I want you to return my mandate back. and he went to appeal against that. So a prayer that is in the judicial system that is not being sought for cannot come up and emanate from the group and be added to it. That is the process of law. And when you get to that process, the Supreme Court only are to look at what has been pronounced from the tribunal, the appeal court, and to them. Is there any way the learned judge error in making this pronouncement? That is why it is always in what do you call it, 3, 5, and 7 numbers. So that is always, it cannot be an even number.
Yes,
it's an odd number. So at the 7 judges cannot all come together, and they cannot be wrong at the same time. So they have to be odd number. Now the 7 judges have to look at this judgment from the appeal. This learned 5 appeal judge, did they err in passing this judgment? Is this judgment in line with the Constitution? Is this judgment in line with 2022 Electoral Act? Ignore these things, you look at it.
Okay.
Then not also forget one aspect that we are looking, the technicalities of law, of our judicial process. Now, the issue of bringing an evidence to a Supreme Court at this time of time, it is a technical issue. Which
it is not wrong.
It is not wrong.
It's a technical issue.
And the court admitted it. I'm sure they would have dismissed it.
No.
It's also a technical issue depending on the way.
Wait. What they said is this: in every court, you have the right to present a matter before the court. Doesn't mean if I accept your matter, I also accept your. Listen to that.
It's not wrong.
Really, it is the right of the court for every Nigerian to share this constitution, give you that right to present a matter before the court. A man who kills today, if you present him before the court, he will claim innocent of the crime. I'm not guilty of this. You mean even with evidence, video evidence, and before the court will not say I let it condemn
so
me.
Why reserve the judgment? That is what.
No, that is the process of law.
That's a process of law. Reserving it. Why the delay? They are the only ones that can tell us. Folorunso.
Thank you, sir. I'm happy this issue has come up once again. So I like what my colleague has said, that as media men, we are supposed to convince the people, not to confuse people. Some of us have opportunity to have been in this system since 1979. So we left to Lagos because of our law. And he lost the election because of technicalities.
Yeah.
And I remember the word was itchy of the 19th state of Nigeria. Professor Chike Obike brought a blackboard. He was talking to you old English in the word. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court judge said what to now it is 12-12. So it is not about Man United versus Man City. It is a statistical standard. The fact is that what you don't present at the lower court, you can't present it at Supreme Court. You can present it, but if you are present it, they will accept it on technical basis. They will use their own idea, either to consider it or throw it away. And secondly, if they reserve their judgment, these are learned men that all of them are almost 70. You don't expect them to act like 22
years old boy.
Shooting stars. Man United will win, Liverpool will win. So they have to take their time. That's the meaning of reserve judgment. And secondly, I'm sorry, I'm not a lawyer, but the little I know that I passed through in life, you cannot accuse somebody of fakery when you are not in possession of the original. That is why I tell some people it is wrong for some security agents to be asking for driver's license on the road. Apart from road safety corporation,
that knows the original.
The person that is accusing Tinubu of faking CSU certificate, does he have the original? And in America, once you lost your certificate, they don't replace it. You go to this one. What's the name? What's that?
Oluwole. American version of Oluwole.
There's Oluwole in Kaduna yet. You know?
I don't know.
There's Oluwole now. We are doing it.
All right.
I have a question.
Okay, ask your question.
I mean, I have an observation. See, the two of you, please don't be always putting journalists on the spot when they are not supposed to. A journalist is supposed to bring out in plain terms what he has seen, whether against or for. Are you getting it? So please, it's only deemed political when a journalist comes out with what he has seen, and the other person starts saying a journalist supposed, it is the language of the government.
Okay, I'll stick up to your mic on that. Every journalist cannot say things in one direction.
Yes.
So why issue
yes,
of
but you don't put the journalists on the spot. That journalists, I'm telling my tool that they are not supposed to be inciting. The journalists are not inciting.
I do not. But I don't.
No, you said the journalists.
Yes, but you cannot say that it is inciting.
Yeah, that's not what they said. They said journalists are not supposed to.
So withdraw it. They use the word inciting.
No, me too. I take an exception when they say journalists are confusing. What is confusing here? The fact is, from what a lot of people have said, even this morning, journalists. No, excuse me. Let me say, right from our right from others, they are saying why they wait. Why put Nigerians on the spot?
That's their own perception.
Are they now confusing Nigerians?
Excuse me, let me ask Mr. Mike.
And excuse me, and Nigerians
we have time.
This very certificate saga has run for long. Nigeria's interest. If you go out now, if you're a Nigerian, they look at you somehow. Let the Supreme Court do justice to this thing and end it now. Not that we are saying we are, according to Nigerians, we are waiting, we are reserving judgment. And now when you say these people are 70 years, they are 90 years. And the people over there that also made these laws, in those days, that are passing these laws, how old are they? That's the ones listening. And let me tell you again, there is what is in 1962. You understand? Before now, the judiciary of Nigeria was under what we call the Privy Council.
Yeah.
You understand? And when our Nigerians discovered that, the incumbents discovered that cases may go against them, they removed it and created the Supreme Court of Nigeria under the Republican district. And since that time, that was why when this Justice Sowemimo also had to tell Oyelola that my hands are tied. Are you getting it? Since that time, political interferences. I know, at least let me finish, then you can talk.
Finish now so that you can talk.
Are you getting it? And people, please, not only you is the Abinga of this knowledge. Please let people vent out and then you talk. Then we learn from you and we learn from each other. I will also learn from you. Now, are you getting it? Now, the perception is this, that these politics, these very judges, that justices have never ruled against a president. And they are now looking for a way, some technical, that is why they are
joining this matter. What you feel, the perception of the people.
That is what first of all, I feel the pulse of some people.
Okay.
Are you getting it? In short, the people have interviewed from my organization. This is their view.
All right. Let's go to
number one. When we were moving from Privy Council, we did not move to Republican. It was because we said bye-bye to Jack, which is in those days of
it was moved under the Republican Constitution.
Excuse me. Then we were under the British Constitution. Then immediately 1963, when we became Republican, we have Republican status. That was when it became Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Under the Republican Constitution, right?
So that we now said we have Supreme Court. And the first Chief Judge of Nigeria was Sir Alexander Dudley. You understand? Yes. Who was half Lagos, half London. Now, what I'm telling you is, my brother, everything one is saying, that's why they say it's permanent interest. The rights you are talking is owned by who? Our friend, our brother, who has always been since 1979 when I knew him. He has always been in the opposition to what is happening today. So what do you expect from a cockroach who is in the court of a chicken? So, my brother, just as you have your interest, don't be angry if other journalists have their interest. After all, we are supposed to be mirror, to be opaque in nature. And you don't forget that a mirror does not see itself. Yeah. The truth of the matter is that on technicalities, I'm not a lawyer. But the little I know that you don't provide solution, a fake to what you don't have the substantial.
All right. 0809 799 1989 is the number to dial. 0809 799 1989 is the number to dial to be part of the program. I'll give you the number again. You are listening to Ground Zero, and the number to dial to contribute is 0809 799 1989. We have our first caller. Hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. What's your name and where are you calling us from? Good evening. All right, Kure.
I want to find out what is can the lawmakers just amend this issue of election after swearing in somebody before they will move to court, from court to another court? Can them just amend this law so that they will organize, the INEC will organize the election after being finished and they do all the cases before they swear in somebody? People have already balanced now. Is it not unfair now to remove him from that office?
Okay.
I don't know why we are still going backward instead of us to be going forward. The lawmakers should just amend this thing so that 2027, at least, let us get a fair and fair election. Or the INEC should just be telling us, they should stop deceiving us who they want to put there. Let me just be relaxing at home instead of me to go and queue for more than 7 hours and I want to call somebody. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very
before
much.
we next caller, let me quickly find out. I'm trying to, in my own little knowledge, not as a lawyer, but also as a legal correspondent and an investigative journalist. I want to put it on this note that Mr. Pure, the issue of going to court or going to tribunal, that word is a tribunal. Tribunal are process set to checkmate post-election irregularity in elections. They are not regular court. Before the regular court, if you have a case about, I guess, a candidate, I have a case in a Delta State that his case was taken by his former girlfriend to a court, and the court passed a judgment, and the judgment, the certificate of judgment was issued on that case. He still went to contest the general, but at the tribunal, this certificate was presented, and it was one of the evidence that was used in the election.
All right, let's quickly take this call. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero. What's your name, and where are you calling us from?
Hello, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, you're welcome.
Comrade Kayode on the line.
All right, Comrade Kayode, let's have your take.
About the issues of Tinubu and Atiku. My brother, the foundation, as I always say, actually as far as this nation is concerned. In those days, let me talk about 1966 downwards. We have people that are committed to the issue of governance. But after the taking over of military, the first military coup in 1966, the entire system was destabilized, and they made central city to be a kind of a Jewish position.
Okay.
If actually we want to get it right, for us to have people that really care for the society, we need to decentralize power.
Okay.
My one point is that the kingdom of God summarizes violence. Only the violence they get it by force.
All right.
When somebody is telling you, let me laugh at this.
Time. I'm looking at time too.
What is that man telling to the society? The good ones that really need to give us better society, they will never have their way to get to that thing. If actually we want people that really begin the development of society, we should make that central thing to be decentralized so that we have people that can take this nation to the next level. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade Kayode, for stopping by this evening. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Ground Zero. What's your name, and where are you calling us from?
Good evening, here and the studio.
All right, good evening. What's your name, and where are you calling us from? All right, your pay text, man. Talk to us. Yeah.
They are different, they are Nigerians, and definitely whatever the outcome of this court judgment, I'm definitely sure there's going to be peace in this country. Just as you have said, I said, all we want, let the court come out clean and make sure that they say whatever they want to say, so that Nigeria will also be as well as peace. So I thank you people bring this issue of and everything. in this country because we are hungry. They will get something to eat.
We'll try our best and bring it and make it a talking point.
Okay, so thank you very much. Over 20 years now, and now immediate as well, not your party. Nobody has seen us come. What happened to come on? The fact that whoever is going to be called the president, so I can do this in Jesus' name.
Amen. All right. Thank you so very much. As we pick up our next caller, hello, good evening, and welcome to the program. Hello, good evening, welcome to Ground Zero. Yes, good evening. Can you speak up a little bit? All right, bro, let's talk.
For me, people used to say that the court is the hope of the common man. But right now, I see the court as the nightmare to the common man.
How would you say that?
Issue of Tinubu, we know people know the right thing. They know what is happening. I don't understand. Before they allow somebody to do something, what happened during that process?
That's your perception. All right.
I think this is where we.
All right, let's take all the calls. We'll react to all of this. So thank you so very much. And let's take the next call. 009 7991989 and 009 Of course, you can go to @ProcyonRTV on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also drop your comments and observations. Okay.
Thank you, the last caller. You see, the problem is you make a very good point, which is our politicians and people support disappointed in some of them because they are educated, but they are displaying a kind of educated illiteracy in their process of handling some certain matter. A case was just decided in Kaduna State between Honorable Bade and Ekene, and it has to do on the same forgery. Bade presented a document from a school, which he claims Ekene went to, and there is another document from the same school by Ekene who claims this is our student. And at the end of the day, the court said this man has no forgery, but because you are tribunal, any criminal case you are bringing is a criminal case. It's not an electoral matter. So it has to go back and you have to prove it beyond reasonable doubt. We can't interfere, and that is what is going to happen in the Supreme Court. So our politicians, you have good 7 months after filing in of this. Why don't you have FOI, Freedom of Information, to discern and screen this document? Then you can make your noise. Then it will have been a pre-election matter. Then you take it to a court, or a competent court, and have your case there. Not when you wait after the election because you did not win. You now said, okay, you are looking for things. And unfortunately, the 2022 Electoral Act has created these technicalities that always bring problems. I try to solve a lot of them. So our politicians should wake up. If you don't win election, you have to go to the tribunal, and you are going to the tribunal because of fact that you are supposed to win the election. All right. Based on fact, you have been overvoting, maybe shorting, insecurity, other things. You prove it before the tribunal, and the tribunal will listen to your guy. But now coming that Mr. Mike did not qualify, or Mr. A did not qualify. It is not. It is a pre-election matter.
Okay, let's go to Folorunso. Please, is that something 1 minute?
As much as
we're out of time.
As much as I concur with Mr. Femi, I want people to know that one thing is to accuse, another thing is to prove. The most important thing, the school has not come out to deny that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was not their student. They say he was their student, he graduated from the school. And it is the policy of the school that they don't replace lost certificates. So the truth of the matter is Bola Tinubu is a graduate of Chicago State University.
Michael Akatu.
You see what with this adjournment as the way it is. If you see before Tinubu was sworn in, there were groundswell of opinion. Let election matters end before the president is sworn in.
All right.
That should have been the case. If these things have ended before the president was sworn in, by now we don't have all this kind of adjournment. The man went to
Chicago or go to my business school.
But the fact is, we need to put the judiciary on the spot and let them act according to what Nigerians are saying. You can see almost all the callers have been expressing some kind of misgiving. The judiciary members or the justices are Nigerians, and they also should look at what Nigerians are saying, not depend on technicalities.
All right. And I would say that's about the size of the program. But before I go, I want to sincerely appreciate all of my guests. They have really shown new light to this issue. I start all the way from the publisher himself, the Folorunso. You're welcome and thank you for having time to be on Ground Zero.
My senior uncle.
Yes.
Our grandpa.
And of course, Femi Oyelola. He is a journalist of repute and also a media analyst. Femi, thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me.
And last but definitely not the least is
My stomach
Odeh, Akatu, the controversial one. Thank you so very much for having time. I want to also appreciate the management and staff of Invicta FM, and not forgetting Femi or Nibiyo for making us to Invicta. And of course, here at the Procyon Media Center, I want to appreciate Evelyn Harry, Michael Praise, Samuel Idoga, and of course, not forgetting Ehis Agbon that did the magic of putting the pictures together for the world to see. And of course, that's also Agbon, and of course to Sarah Agbon, she was the production lead. My name is Ehis Agbon. Until on Friday when I'll be on again. Remember, the program Ground Zero comes up every working day of the week from 5 to 6 on Procyon Radio and Television. But on Tuesdays and Fridays, that's when you can listen to it on Invicta FM. And don't forget too, Chopperton is coming soon. We have a special package for everybody as we work towards the end of the year. Plant a tree today, water it and watch it grow. May the good mighty Lord bless and keep us all. Most importantly, keep shining like the star that you are. Call me the peacemaker. I have a passion for crowd satisfaction.